Next week marks the second anniversary of the passing of revered Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, Chief Rabbi of Great Britain and the Commonwealth. His legacy lives on with a values and leadership program in his name at Yeshiva University. And I had a chance to interview Dr. Erica Brown, who not only studied under the late Rabbi Sacks when he was alive, but she is now the director of the center in his name. Erica, welcome to Jerusalem and to the show. And first, tell us about your relationship and experience with the beloved rabbi.
And I direct the Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks Herenstein Center for Values and Leadership. So that's a role where I get to promulgate the teachings of my teacher, my revered teacher, whose loss, Rabbi Sacks' death in 2020 was devastating for me. And it feels like a comfort to be able to honor his memory by creating and directing this center.
Dr. Brown, also tell us why Rabbi Sacks was so brilliant in communicating the importance of Judaism as a tool to solve the world's problems.
I spent a lot of time in Jews College, and I was working there and eventually went on to do a master's there, working under Rabbi Sacks. So he was my master's thesis advisor, and I think I'd never met someone who was able to integrate philosophy and current events and sociological research into their understanding of Judaism, and to see Judaism as a solution to some of the world's greatest ills. Rabbi Sacks was an important guide for me because, you know, my gender wasn't an issue, I think, in terms of being a student. I think he saw that the hallmark of a good student was curiosity and hard work and discipline. And if you had those things, did it make a difference? You know, your capacity to influence is, I think, what was significant to him.
We're seeing more women in leadership positions in all professions. What's your message to young women on how to nourish their potential?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that there are newspapers or magazines that cover stories, the 50 women to watch. And I always say, those 50 women who got there, you don't have to watch over them because they're going to soar whether you're encouraging them or not. They have drive, they have ambition, they have a sense of purpose, they want to lead, and they'll lean in. But I think there are a lot of women who do need to be watched over and encouraged to lead, not because they don't have the capacity, but because they don't have the confidence. And I think the power of invitation is very, very strong. And if you invite someone, say, I'd love to have an op-ed from you. I'd love for you to teach a class. I'd love for you to address this group. That power of invitation grows people, makes them feel significant. It validates their sense of competency and control and leadership. And so I think that for me, an important aspect of nourishing women's leadership is simply inviting women to the table of saying, you can do this. We're now more sensitive about having a female presence. And I think we all need role models in everything we do. And they're not only gender role models. They're role models of integrity, of character, of the kind of leadership, authentic leadership that you'd like to see in the world, of exemplary ethical leadership. And so I think that's gender neutral.
Dr. Brown, in your current position as Vice Provost and Director of the new Leadership Center at Yeshiva University, what is your goal as far as inspiring students to become thought leaders of the future?
In my current position, we're interested in undergraduate leadership and helping our student leaders develop certain skills and abstract concepts of leadership that can help them serve better as a university student, and then when they graduate, go on to take really significant leadership roles in their professional lives. We like to believe at Yeshiva University in the holistic student, that each of our students is a universe. Because we're a Jewish university, we're the flagship Jewish university, we want our students to be people of character and people of ethics. And when they go out in the business world and they have a difficult decision to make, it's not really that difficult for them because there's a moral barometer and compass that is very, very strong.
Also in the United States, political polarization has crept into every aspect of society. We're seeing it unfold. In your opinion, is there a way forward and a solution to recapturing, I guess you could say, the individuality in this current climate?
You cannot escape political polarization in the United States. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter where you are. I think it's politics 24/7. I think people, instead of religion being the great unifier of communities, Politics has become that. And so if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, you sort of go in your camp and you act like the herd, and you conform to the conventions of the party in the way that you think about major issues. In fact, what happens is polarization sort of deprives you of thinking because someone else has made these decisions for you. So politics in some way contemporary politics has sapped us of that individuality, of that sense of singularity. I vote with the herd, I think like the herd.
Also today, we're dealing with increasing anti-Semitism on college campuses around the country. Tell us how woke culture is affecting learning itself.
A woman asked a question, how can we send our children to a college campus in America? There's so much anti-Semitism. So I said, please come to Yeshiva University. We don't have any anti-Semitism there. And she looked at me funny, as if I weren't answering her question. And I said, and by the way, anti-Semitism is not really your biggest problem on campus today. It's a woke culture where identity politics has invaded every area of study, and it's made it a huge distraction for learning itself.
Also, Dr. Brown, could you explain why so many progressive American Jews of today find it hard to identify with Israel?
I think there are American Jews who find it hard to identify with Israel today because of anti-Semitism and the fear that identifying with Israel somehow makes you less progressive, makes you less liberal, makes you less a person of the world. And it's a shame that cosmopolitanism is reduced to what everyone else thinks about you, as opposed to thinking through yourself, what are your views about Israel? I mean, to me, Israel is the center of Jewish identity, and we walk proudly in the diaspora because we know that there's an Israel. We know there's a place of refuge. We know that we have a center. We know we have a place to go to. And it's deeply saddening to me that for political reasons, and sometimes not thought through political reasons, people have detached themselves from the significance of the state of Israel. And it's really their loss. And it's our loss too.
Dr. Erica Brown, thank you so very much.